Part 4, the Baron survives a raid by the Romans in the village. Just before dawn, the Roman soldiers came. Without warning, a group of 20 marched into the village with torches, shields, and drawn swords. They shouted demands in rough Latin: grain, wine, and any young men to conscript. When the villagers hesitated, the commander ordered the huts to be searched. Alexander acted swiftly. He had studied Roman military tactics his whole life. He recognized their formation, their discipline, and their weaknesses. He ordered the villagers to gather at the well and block the central path with overturned carts. He told the women and children to hide in the hillside caves. He took a broken spear and stood beside Tertius and 3 others, ready to defend their homes. As the Romans advanced, the villagers pelted them with stones and burning oil. One soldier slipped in the mud, another tripped over a cart. The narrow village paths broke the Roman formation, forcing them to fight in tight spaces. Alexander, though not a trained soldier, used his knowledge well. He jabbed and dodged, helping knock the commander off balance. When Tertius was struck, the Baron dragged him to safety. After a brutal half-hour, the surviving Romans fled wounded and humiliated. The village stood battered, but alive. Part 5, the end. In the days that followed, Alexander was hailed as a hero. The villagers offered him a permanent place among them. A young healer named Livia even asked him to stay with her and teach her the knowledge of his time. But the Baron knew he didn't belong. The pendant still hung around his neck, its dial glowing faintly again. He had seen the past, tasted its struggle, and earned its respect, but he was still a man of the future. One quiet morning, as the sun rose over the olive hills, Alexander returned to the grove where he had first arrived. He touched the pendant, turned the dial, and stepped once more through the shimmer of time. Back in his chateau, the greenhouse stood silent. Dust danced in the morning light. It had felt like weeks, but in the world he left, only minutes had passed. He never told anyone the full truth. But he kept the pendant in a locked box and wrote a journal, one that would one day inspire others. And though he returned to 18th century France, the Baron was never quite the same. He had walked with Romans, fought under ancient stars, and glimpsed the fire of history firsthand. And in his heart, he carried 2 lives, one of privilege and one of purpose.